Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the SH Figuarts Naruto Shikiriki. This is Cousin Frank's cousin and Naruto's ex-girlfriend. I think that's the story behind this character. I'm not 100% sure. She's got her hair pulled up because she's angry and she's ready to go into combat, hence the combat vest to go with the ninja outfit. You see, it all comes together. She is known as the, according to the box, the brilliant strategist. Okay, well, maybe if you're a brilliant strategist, you would have shorter hair so that doesn't get grabbed in combat. Just saying. Alright, so this figure is a viewer request. You guys asked me to review this one a bunch, so here it is. It's probably pretty good, I'm guessing, because Cousin Frank was pretty good, so his cousin Shikiriki is also probably pretty good, in that they share a lot of the same design elements. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. Now, before I show you the figure, I do want to show you my package. It's a nice enough package. The figure is front and center, accessories very visible, figure slightly covered by the artwork, or photo/artwork, which is, it's fine. Decent looking packaging, very simple for the Naruto stuff. Not the most creative, but definitely acceptable. And again, small photos on the back. I wish we got some more photos for the Dragon Ball and Naruto lines. Bigger or more, something would be nice, but it's not bad. Standard packaging. Alright, now for the figure, I will say it's in stock at Big Bad Toy Store. If you want to get one, I'll put a link in the description below. It stands about 5 and, let's call it 7/8, not counting the hair tips on the ponytail. And that's going to be about 15 centimeters, not counting the hair tips. Here he is up against the Darwin. Not 1/12 scale, probably, but maybe close enough. Maybe, I don't know how tall she's supposed to be. But if she's not supposed to be as tall as Darwin, then they nailed it. Alright, let's do a question of the day. Which character design for Naruto, not the character, but the series, the IP, is the best character design and which is the most boring? I'm hearing more and more these days that the Naruto designs are just too boring. Across the board, not any one specific character. I happen to think the combat armor ninjas are kind of a cool design. I don't get it really, but it's fun to look at, so I don't mind it. The rest of the characters, I have to say, other than the guy in the red robe, and maybe the one that eats sand or whatever he does, those ones are kind of cool looking. Okay, so anyway, let's get into the aesthetic on this figure. Fairly plasticky, like most of the Naruto figures. However, it's not bad looking. The paint job's clean enough. The zipper is well enough done, except for there's a zigzag going on right there, so that's a bit of an issue. Not too bad. His headband that he's not wearing, is that what that is? I don't know. That's pretty well done. His fishnet sleeves, surprisingly well done. More fishnets down here, because sometimes it just gets hot being a ninja, and you need to have something covering your body, but you want to let it breathe. So his arms and legs can breathe. They're actually done really well. The paint job's nice, it is textured, and then the feet are done well enough. So yeah, it's not bad looking. It is plasticky, but typically the Naruto line has been okay. It's been able to fight through the plasticky nature and make people happy. So maybe that's the case. But let's look at the face. I've heard a lot of people say that her face doesn't quite look right, and I have to say, being the expert Naruto that I am, I would agree. Most of the faces look terrible. Terrible. Doesn't look anything like the character, and we'll see more when we do the accessories. One of them is just like, did they mess up the paint job, or are they trying to be, like maybe that's a face from the show? I don't know. But a couple faces do look decent, so we'll get to that, but maybe it'll be okay. We'll see. But generally the aesthetic is decent. It's not great, but it is fine. The sculpt is good enough. I'm going to say 8 out of 10. Too plasticky, but otherwise fine. Now, as far as accessories go, you get the 2 fist hands and a whole bunch of other hands, so that's nice. Lots of options there. You get the face that comes on him in the package, and then 4 other faces. The one with the eyes 4 feet apart is something else. The one where he's looking off to the side a little bit looks really nice. The other ones are somewhere in between. I don't know if Bandai screwed up, or if he makes weird faces in the show, or I don't know. There's something going on here with the faces that is just crazy. As for other accessories, you do get his little knife, which is surprisingly well done. Not surprising, it's just nicely done. The lighter, also very nicely done. You get some interchangeable pocket areas for him to peg his wrist pegs into, so it looks like his hands are in his pockets. That's nice. And then you get the mark that goes on the floor underneath him for when he couldn't hold his bladder. And I guess that's a thing. So, decent spread of accessories. I'll go 8 out of 10. Even with the faces being janky as heck, but you could easily knock off like 10 points for how bad that one is, unless it's from the show specifically. I don't know. I haven't gotten that far into the season. Okay, why am I trying to measure it? All right, here we go. As far as articulation goes, I'm just going to measure it right in the middle of the review again, just in case you forgot. Double ball peg in the neck, that's nice. And then a ball peg at the bottom of the neck also. That is the way to do it, and I'll bet you, yep, that is the way to do it. I love it. Even his collar, it moves a little bit. It's probably on just a hinge. It could be a ball. It's hard to say. It's kind of hidden. But the collar moves around a little bit too. That'll help for the shoulders and the neck. So that's pretty nice. Now the shoulders are on some kind of butterfly. It feels like it's one of the more traditional styles. Then we just have a ball peg with a ball hinge for this part. It's a little overly complex, but it's nowhere near as bad as the one-piece ones. He can raise his arm up just fine. It's a little gappy, but perfectly good range. And it's not super... They pop off easily. Well... What's with everything popping apart so easily lately? Are they just not worrying about tolerances? He can bring his arm across the chest a little bit with this lifting up, but it's not great because that has to lift up. So, yeah, it's your usual problem with shoulder pads and Bandai. That's not the way I would do it, but that's the way they've done it, and it is acceptable enough. You do get a bicep swivel right there, double jointed elbow, decent range, not the best looking thing, but it's fine, and then ball hinge wrists, that's fine. This arm, is it a ball peg? Oh, I'm sorry. It's a ball peg. I thought it was just a poorly put together joint since you can see that little dot right there, that little opening. But it's a ball peg. And it pops off way too easily. Interesting. Okay, so you get a little bit more range there. For the torso, some more ball pegs. Works nicely, just like Cousin Frank. He was one of the better releases. This guy works very nicely too. Very well done. This piece is a floating piece. This piece is on a peg, so it'll move. For the hips. Full splits, no nuggets, really. And again, for the people saying, you know, you don't need to do splits. Most characters don't do splits. I don't know anybody who can do splits. Well, first of all, you don't know any anime characters or comic book characters. But second of all, it's not that they need to do splits. It's that it'd be nice if they could, but that there's no reason that they can't. And if they can't, then that means there's limited articulation for no reason. And arguing that your action figure shouldn't have as much posability as possible when you wouldn't have to sacrifice anything, that's a strange position to take. Bringing the leg forward works just fine. Bringing the leg back, not too bad. You get a little bit of range out of that. You get your thigh swivel. I don't know if it's a ball peg. It feels like it moves a little bit. It could just be a hinge. I'm not pulling it apart to check. There's a little extra play in there. I don't really like the way this looks, but they did that for that pocket feature, so I guess you take what you can get. Double jointed knee works all right. Pretty good range. Pretty good proportioning. Nothing up here, but the ankle down here moves all the way around. They're usually on a ball peg. It probably is. Yeah, it feels like it is. And then you get... Oh my gosh. That is the tiniest. I thought the ball broke off. I thought that was just the peg. That's the ball. What the heck, Bandai? That's the tiniest. That's almost impossible to have good retention. I barely touched it and it popped off. Oh my gosh. Why is it so small? If I had a nickel every time I said that... Okay, well, I don't know if I'm getting it back on or not. I know we lost focus. I don't know if it's pegged in all the way. That is the tiniest little peg. But otherwise, these ankles are good designs, but that peg being so small is going to be a nuisance. But it's got really good range, it's good looking, and then you do get a really nice ankle rocker out of it. I love these ankles on the Naruto figures. They're very, very well done. And then the toe hinge, also very well done, just the way I've been saying they need to be done. It's not super stiff, but it will do. So, his articulation, perfectly acceptable. Maybe not the most impressive thing in the world, but it will work. You'll get most of your posing done. Be careful the arms and feet pop off, but they pop right back on at least. So, there's that. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10 for articulation. It should pose pretty well. It shouldn't be too annoying. But now it's time for the final verdict. Is this the best release in the line? No, certainly not. If you like this character, is it good enough to get? If you know of one of the faces that you like to use, that you would like to use, then sure. If you don't, then don't, because his faces are jacked up. And he's not, like, impressive in any other way. He's just a pretty solid release. So, I'll give it an overall rating of 8. It's definitely good enough if you can get past the face issue. So, yeah, get it if you can get past that. If not, don't. If you count the faces completely, then it's like a 0, because they're mostly terrible. Okay, but that's it for me. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, does that lift up? Oh. It has kind of a slip joint sort of ball peg thing. I don't know that really makes a difference, but anyway, in the meantime, keep collecting.